Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining my class. Please do not forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and to comment. That would help me to improve on the videos. Also, to let me know your areas of interest, so I can always be there to meet your needs and requests. So, following from the drafting of the back, remember I mentioned that we are stopping here to do part of the front, then we'll come back and do the shaping, which includes the darts, the back contouring, and some other things that would go on that would make the pattern fit properly on the client or on the figure we're drafting it for. So today we'll be drafting the front. So we'll be using the instruction from the book. So just a quick recap. Remember when we drafted the back, I told you then that these measurements should be taken from your client, and then these are the proportions you would use to draft your pattern. And the proportions required will be determined by your bust measurement. So your bust tells you the proportion, and every other thing here, please take your figure's measurement, and then you use the bust to determine the proportion that will be used to draft your pattern. So, and then we drafted following the instructions here, following the instruction up until this point, which is the shoulder. And then we talked about the shoulder darts and then reducing the shoulder and everything. So anyway, we'll still come back to that at some point again during this lesson, because like I said, we have not really constructed the darts at the back. So we'll be coming back to the back. So, but for today, we are starting the front. And it says here, looking at the book, you see the front. And the instruction goes thus: the bust line, the waistline, and the hip line having already been taken across to the front. So remember, we did our bust line. This is our bust line. This is our waistline. And this is our hip line, which came from the back to the front. So that's what the book meant there by saying the bust line, the waistline, the hip line having already been taken across to the front. It now only remains to add the chest line, the front shoulder line, and the base of neckline. So coming back here, this is our chest line. We'll be adding this. This is our front shoulder line. We'll be adding that. And then the base of neckline. That's what we'll be adding today. That's drafting at the front. And then you can see some other things going on, the darts, and then wood. And the two bust points, everything. Yeah, let's just take it gradually. So the center front line goes up to the top line. So basically what this means is this is the center front line, and this line touches the top line. So that's what it means by the center front line goes up to the top line. This is center front line. It goes up to the top line. This is our top line. Remember, top line. This is our top line. All right. And then, or to the top of the edge of the paper, we are using the top line. So point O is marked right at the top of the center front. So remember, for the back, we came down for the point O. But for the front now, our point O is here. This point at the top of the paper. See, the point O is marked right at the top of the center front, and so comes 3 centimeters higher than point O of the center back. In this case, our point O of the center back is 4 centimeters, and then our point O for the front. So our point O for the back is 4 centimeters. We came down 4 centimeters from the top line. So the same thing, our point O for the front now, we are going up 4 centimeters above the point O for the back. Basically, that is what is being said here. So he said point O is marked right at the top of the center front, and so comes 3 cm, in our case 4 cm higher than the point O at the center back, which we have explained. He said higher in larger sizes, meaning point O can be higher in larger sizes. Where in this case, the book has 3 cm point O, we have 4 cm point O. So basically that means our point O is larger than what is in the book. So larger size, right? And let me explain what the larger size means. You see, from this thick marking, this thick line down, I regard it as larger sizes. That's from 96 down is regarded as larger size. And then from this point, that's 92 up to 80, is regarded as the smaller sizes. So that's what the terminology larger is coming from. Okay, so measuring from point O down the center front line, mark the following points: 4.5 for the shoulder line, 4 centimeter in larger sizes. So with what I have explained to you, because our measurement falls after the 92, right, it's a larger size. So if we're drafting the front now, the shoulder line for the front will be 4 centimeters down from point O. So like I'll be using this tape so that we can still see it. So this is our point O, 4 centimeter. If we're doing something smaller, say the 92-inch bust, we'll be using 3 centimeters, 4.5, sorry, 4.5 centimeters for the shoulder line. So shoulder line for smaller sizes at the front, at the center front, is 4.5, but for larger sizes at the center front is 4 centimeters. Understand that, okay? Then the base of neckline is 8 to 8. Sorry, the base of neckline is 7.5 centimeters, but 8 to 8.5 in larger sizes. Now, this is where you have to use your calculation. It says 8 to 8.5. So the bust we are drafting for is 102, right? And sorry, yeah, 102, between 100 and 104. So this is still required. We can still use 8 cm for this person. So from the point whereby I start using 8.5 cm is from 112. From 112 upwards, I use 8.5 cm because then those are required even larger. Because what I do is from 92 up is we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sizes. Then from 96 down we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sizes. So this is 7.5. So this point from here to here I use 8 cm. Then from 112 to the next 4 I use 8.5. You can take it up to 9, but be very careful at that point, okay? So 8.5 for sizes bigger than what we have now for the base of the neckline. So in this case, we'll be doing 8 cm, which, as I've explained to you. So we come down again, 8 cm for the base of neckline, okay, for the front. And so what I would do in this case is, we have 4 cm here, because I will be squaring some of this line that's ruling them across. I'll just make a little bit of sign here, because this 4 cm would go a little bit further across. This 8 cm, that's from here to here, 8 cm is not going to be going across, but we'll follow the instruction now. So so we've marked the points, right? So the base of neckline 8 cm, the shoulder line 4 cm, we have marked that point, right? And then it says from the bust line, measure 4 centimeter, measure up 4 centimeter. Remember, this is our bust line, right? This is our bust line. We are told to measure up 4 centimeters. So we'll be going 4 centimeters here, right? And I'm going to come across again and mark the 4 centimeters because we'll be squaring this across. We're trying to get our chest line. So it says measure up 4 centimeters for the chest line. So this is our chest line now, 4 centimeters, okay? So from all these points, square the construction lines to the center front, extending them about halfway across, except for the neckline, which is only 10 to 12 centimeters long. Remember I said so. So our neckline now is only 10 to 12 centimeters long, right? So I will just come again here, which is basically our base of neckline. That's what we are trying to identify. So our base of neckline for this size, for bust 102, which we're using 104 to draft, our base of neckline or back neck width is 8 centimeters. So basically in this case, what I will do is I will come in here, mark 10 centimeters, right? And then mark the 8 centimeter point, okay? Then from this point, from the 10 centimeter point, I'll come down another 8 centimeters. Remember, 4 here, making 8 centimeters. And then we'll connect with the ruler. Okay. And then on this base of neckline, we'll find a point of 8 centimeters again, because our back neck width is 8 centimeters. So the neck width at the back and at the front are always the same thing. Okay. Because it's the same. We're trying to get the round neck measurement for that individual, for the individual. So here now, I'll connect the 8 centimeters. Let me just make sure this is 8 centimeters. Okay, 8 cm. And then, okay, 8 cm. So connect these points. Okay, these are base of neckline. These are front neckline now. Okay, the shoulder line, it says here, it says from all these points, square this from all these points, square the construction lines to the center front, extending them about halfway across, except for the neckline. So the shoulder line can go about halfway across, not exactly halfway across, but about halfway across. So we just roll it like that. These are shoulder line. Okay, so this is shoulder line for the front. Okay, now along the top line from point O, measure the neck width equal to the back neck width, which is what we've done already. The neck width along point O, from point O to here is 8 centimeters, from here to here is 8 centimeters, and I've connected them. This measurement, however, should never be less than 6.5 cm in the front, even in smaller sizes. Okay, so what they're saying is, if the person you're drafting for falls maybe below around bust 80, right, then it should not be more than 6 centimeters. If the person falls below 80, below bust 80, please use children pattern for that individual, because that means the person really doesn't have any bust. So children pattern will work for that person. When I mean children pattern, I'm thinking like a 12 to 14-year-old pattern, because from 16 years old I really developed. So 12 to 14-year-old pattern, use a children pattern drafting book. I teach children classes as well. If you want to learn to sew for children, I take that class as well. So you can always use children pattern for anybody that falls below bust 80, because really this will not work well for them. Okay, right. So in 6.5 and 6.5 cm in the front, even in smaller size, and mark the neck points. So now this from here to here 8 cm, here to here 8 cm. So this point now is our NP for the front neck point. Okay, see it, neck point. Okay, and then from the neck point, draw the neckline on the line 7 cm below with the help of a short construction line, which this is what we have done. We have constructed the markings. That's the box for the neckline. Okay, so I'll just take that again. From the neck point, draw the neckline onto the line 7.5 cm below with the help of a short vertical construction line from the NP. Right, so we have a construction line here from the NP. Then the curve should pass through a point 3 cm from the angle formed by the crossing of these two lines. So now this is line 1, this is line 2. This is the angle formed from this line, from these two lines, right? And then our curve will go beyond, we'll have a point, we go across a point of 3 centimeters for smaller sizes. Okay, so I'll take that point again so that you don't get confused. From the neck point, draw the neckline onto the line 7 cm below with the help of a short vertical construction line from NP. So there's a short vertical construction line from NP. The curve should pass through a 0.3 cm from the angle. This is our angle. Okay, this is our angle. So the curve will pass through a point of 3 cm from this angle by the crossing of these two lines. So then it's saying now 3.5 cm in larger sizes. Remember again, coming back here, this is small size. From here is larger sizes. So we'll be using the 3.5 cm from this angle, okay? And then from here, like I said the last time, we're going to be using this as our angle. So we put the straight point here, we mark here, we make a point here, and then we connect this line back up there and then find our 3.5 cm point. Okay, so, and then we mark 3.5 cm. Sorry, I'm using this here now. That's 3.5 cm. Let me use this so that you can see from that angle. That's our 3.5 cm. And you see, so now our whatever curve we're doing pass through this line. So let's put our curve there now. So basically, this is our line and this is our curve. And you see, you rotate the curve until it connects. Okay. So now it connects. We take it. Push. We take it and connect back. This is our neckline. All right. And that's what you can see here. Neck point, neckline. Okay. So from the neck point, draw the neckline onto the, yeah, sorry, we've done that. Then on the shoulder line, measure from the center front 16.5 centimeters. So this is our shoulder line. Remember, we are measuring 16.5 centimeters from the center front. This is our center front. These are 16.5. We mark it, the point 16.5 cm, okay, from the center front. And then this 16.5 cm is for all sizes, and through this point, rule from NP a provisional shoulder seam, leaving it unfinished 20 to 22 centimeters long. So this is from NP, and through this point, we are ruling a provisional shoulder line, leaving it unfinished at 22 centimeters. So these are NP here. So we put our ruler here. So here I have the 22 point here, and it's cutting through the 16.5 point, the 16.5 cm point. So I'm going to be ruling across a provisional shoulder line, leaving it unfinished at 22 centimeters. So this is unfinished now at 20 to 22 centimeters, but I've chosen to use 22 centimeters, not 20. So my line is up to 22 centimeters from the shoulder, from the neck point, cutting across the markings of the 16.5 and finishing it up here, leaving it unfinished here at 22 centimeters. Okay, it's between 20 to 22, but I've chosen to go with 22. All right. Now, another method. So like I said, when we're drafting the back, when you find a smaller font, the writer or the author is trying to explain. But I can leave this to you. Get the book and read that, and then check Appendix 1 for explanation. So basically, this is Appendix 1. No, no, simplified bodice. Appendix 1 is somewhere at the back. Okay, you can always check that. Then on the bust line, measure quarter chest measurement from center front, which is 9.5. In this case, hers is not 9.5. Okay. So in this case, our own quarter chest measurement, which is the um, chest width, like when we took our measurement, our chest width when we took our measurement, our chest width was 15.5, okay? 15.5 centimeters, which invariably in inch, yes, 15.5 inches, sorry. So in centimeters, it came up to about 41 centimeters. So 15.5, yeah, 40 centimeters thereabout, okay, is the chest width. So we'll be using the chest width of 40 centimeters to drive this pattern. So he's saying now we're going to be using the quarter chest measurement, which is 9.5 cm. So in this case, the chest width we're using here is 40. Or it was 16, I think. So for this person, I think it's 40, 41, sorry. That's the full. By the time you divide that, sorry about that, 41 centimeters, not 40. 41 centimeters. So 41 divided by 2, you have 20.5, and then 20.5 divided by 2, this is 10.5, 10.25. Remember I told you we can't find 0.25 on our, what's it called, on our centimeters. So we're just going to leave it at 40, sorry, 10.5. So the chest width we'll be using here will be 10.5, okay? That's the quarter chest width. Sorry about that. The quarter chest width we'll be using here is 10.5. So it says on the bust line, measure quarter chest measurement from center front. So this is our center front. We'll be measuring 10.5, okay, which is our quarter chest width. Remember I think one of the very first videos, you see the chest width there. So I'll just clean this line, clean this naming, the notation. I'll bring it here, bust line. Okay, so I've marked our 10 centimeters, 10.5 centimeters on the bust line. And then it says through this point, from 2 cm below it, rule a vertical construction line parallel to the center front up to the shoulder. Okay, let's do that first. Say from this point and 2 cm below it. So we come down 2 cm, right? This is the 2 cm point below it. This point. So draw a vertical construction line up onto the shoulder. So to do that, let's take this measurement again, 10.5 cm, so that we can be sure that our line is straight. We come here and measure the same 10.5 cm. Okay, 10.5 cm. And then we connect these points together with a vertical construction line. So the 10.5, which one now? Let's be very careful and be sure. This is 10 cm, this is 10. Okay. This 10.5 cm, we connect them together with a vertical construction line. There you go. So we've done that. We've connected this on a straight line, vertical construction line. And it says that I'm going to go through again. Through this last point, that's the bust quarter chest, which is 10.5 cm, and 2 cm below it. This is 2 cm below it. Okay, sorry, let me extend my line to the 2 cm below it. 2 cm below it, which is this point. Rule a vertical construction line parallel to the center front up to the shoulder, and from there measure 2 centimeters to the left up onto the shoulder, right? And from there, what they mean from the shoulder, go 2 centimeters to the left. Okay, 2 cm to the left, right? That's 2 cm to the left on the shoulder. From this last point, rule an inner line of the shoulder dart down to the 2 centimeter below the bust line. So from this point now, we're rolling a line down 2 centimeters below the bust line. So again, so this one should be a vertical construction line. When it says construction line, sorry, it should be broken lines. When you see the term construction lines, it should be broken lines. So I'm just trying to make this broken line. Sorry about that. Vertical construction lines mean broken lines. Construction, they are not complete yet. So now we're doing connecting back from that 2 cm point to the 2 cm below the bust point. Can you see it? Basically, this is what we have. So this is our construction line. This is our 2 cm point line. So from here to here now, this shoulder line, this is our top line, this is our shoulder line. Sorry, this line is our shoulder line, this is our top line. So I like to use this line to get my points straight. Okay, so if you still measure it, you would have the same thing. See, 2 cm. Okay, can you see 2 cm? Okay. Right, so that's that. That's the inner line of the shoulder dart, okay, which we've done. Then measure and mark the size of the dart. So the size of our dart is 9 cm, okay? From this 2 cm now, this line, we measure our 9 cm, the size of our dart. Okay? 9 cm, the size of our dart. We measure it. Like I said, this is the inner construction line for the dart, okay? So it says measure and mark the size of the dart, i.e. 7 centimeters in the case of the textbook, but what we are drafting is 9 centimeters along the shoulder line, and complete the dart by ruling the outer line to join the inner line 2 centimeters below the bust line. So this is the inner line. We're doing the outer line of the dart now, still connecting it back to this point of 2 centimeters below the bust line. So go this way. That's our dart construction. I'll come back again and we run through this point again, because I know this is one of the difficult parts of the front. Okay,